Isn't that lovely? I've got massively sidetracked. I was working on a guitar before this, but about a week ago, somebody got in touch and asked me if I could make string spacer, and I said maybe, because I've been working on these for like years. Here's one that I attempted to make about 6 years ago, and I was never terribly happy with it because the sort of the inaccuracies multiply when the bolts get a bit loose. And that was before I discovered thread locker, so I could solve that one now. But anyway, that's another problem with this is the way the pointers come off the arms means the range of movement isn't that great, which is a shame because that actually looks quite cool. And what you actually need are pointers that go from that joint to that joint and slide that way, which is what that is. It's only got two at the moment. For my bread and butter work, I make mathematical instruments like this one. These are golden ratio calipers, mainly used by artists and sculptors and things like that. About a year and a half ago, I specifically moved towards making things for luthiers, and I think that the best innovation comes from people who are solving problems that they're actually experiencing themselves, rather than marketing departments or art departments. So if I'm making tools for luthiers, then I need to become a luthier. So I began doing that, and then somebody turned up and asked me to make a tool. So I made a prototype. It's this thing here. When I'm working on a new kind of invention, I absolutely obsess about it. I carry around with me 24 hours a day. I sleep with it. And it's occurred to me in the last week or so that this could actually be useful for a hell of a lot more than just spacing strings. For example, every joint could be used for a pilot hole, like to drill. And the reason it's got these wheels on the side, stay there. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? 1985 Paisley Telecaster, isn't it? Yeah. If you want to put a jack hole, you could use that to find the center. You could actually draw a line with it. You could use that to find the center. And if you got those wheels with a number of holes in them, some of them off center, then you could, I think they're called eccentric wheels. What you could do is you could make the top one's a bit narrower, the bottom one's a bit wider, so you could find the center of tapered objects like guitar necks, for example. And I think that would be pretty useful. So it has occurred to me, and I've been playing with this thing, that it might actually be better, rather than being a sort of a unit which does one or two things, it might actually be better as a kind of constructor set, like Meccano or Lego or something like that. So people can make up their own permutations and combinations and find uses for it that, I hadn't thought of. And I think that is fairly cool. I like the idea of that. So there you go. That's the latest obsession. It'll probably take about a month or so. I'm going to need to get these brass pieces made for me, I think. And laser cutting steel takes about 10 days. So, and you don't ever get anything right the first time, do you? So it's going to be at least a month, possibly more. But yeah, there you go, my new thing. And if you want to support me in the meantime, buy some of these. They're absolutely beautiful. Right, later, alligator.